Hi everyone, hope everyone has a marvelous afternoon. I was about to do my painting project, but we're going to postpone that till tomorrow because I just heard about the tragic, devastating event in India. With the painting, you need a lot of energy, and right now my energy is kind of down because of the story that I heard in India. Leave your thoughts and prayers down below in the comments. It really is a tragedy. It should have not happened in the first place. I just felt like in my gut that it was a terrorist attack, that the pilot himself was the terrorist. That's just what I believe. So we'll see. The investigation is still going on. And I'm going to be planning a memorial painting for the family's victims. And I'm going to be finishing off the part 1 of the dragons. Once I get my project done and completed, I have a few more ideas in mind. And if you guys want any requests, feel free to leave your comments down below. And I will see you guys on Monday. Plus, my vacation is coming up next week, so there's going to be more events opening up for the summer. So stay tuned. There's going to be fun vlogs coming up. Have a great day and be kind to each other and help each other to be safe in the city. Bye for now.
Airline disaster. A Boeing Dreamliner plunges to the ground moments after takeoff in India.
We are going to do a fair and thorough investigation.
What we're learning about the Canadian passenger killed and what the sole survivor of a devastating plane crash in India says it all happened within seconds. The fully loaded Boeing 787 Air India flight crashed shortly after takeoff. Its tail section left protruding from the building it hit. Emergency crews hoping to find survivors were left waiting with empty stretchers. The crash was catastrophic. The Boeing Dreamliner was flying from Ahmedabad in northwestern India to London Gatwick, but barely made it into the air. It crash landed less than a minute later on a medical college near the airport. That college is in a dense residential area. Dozens of people on the ground have been killed and injured, and 241 people on the plane, including a Canadian woman, have died. Our coverage begins with Redmond Shannon and a warning some of the images may be disturbing.
We found Sprizzy through a Google search, pretty much. I was looking for a way to market our YouTube video.
Just moments after takeoff, Air India Flight 171 began losing altitude. The Boeing 787 crashing into a medical college, a short distance from Ahmedabad Airport. The plane was loaded with fuel for its journey to London. Most of the 242 passengers and crew and anyone on the ground stood little chance. This man who works near the crash site said he heard a loud noise and rushed outside to a scene of chaos. Authorities have recovered more than 200 bodies. It's not yet known how many were passengers and how many were people in the college. At least 50 of its students were injured.
Very tragic and very, very horrific. And even till now, I have to say I'm in a state of shock.
As families of passengers look for answers, India's aviation minister promises the investigation will be thorough.
I can only think about the passengers, their families, what they might be going through.
Air India says there was only one survivor. Ramesh Viswaskumar, believed to be shown here in a video posted by an Indian news outlet. This footage has not been verified by Global News. He reportedly said because he was sitting in seat 11A beside an emergency exit, he managed to get out quickly. The British man said his brother was also on board. Their family numbed by the news.
He video called my dad. As he crashed, he said, "Our plane's crashed." All of that. I don't know where my brother is. I don't see any other passengers. I don't know how I'm alive.
The flight was scheduled to land here at London Gatwick Airport, where a reception centre for loved ones has now been set up. Alongside the one Canadian victim, more than 2/3 of the people on board were Indian citizens, 53 were British. Donna?
Redmond Shannon, thanks. Boeing Dreamliners had a good safety record until today. Whether it was mechanical or pilot error or something else, it's clear something went wrong immediately. Indian aviation authorities say the pilot issued a mayday call right after takeoff. Jackson Prosco explains what we know about the crash and what investigators will be looking for.
Whatever happened to Air India Flight 171 happened fast. Just seconds after takeoff, the plane appeared to struggle.
And the aircraft did not climb. It got a little bit off the ground and then it just started sinking back down. They definitely did not have the performance that they needed to conduct that flight. And the big question now is why?
Investigators will have to probe multiple points of failure: the plane, its engines, pilot error, and outside factors.
We won't know that answer until we have a look at the black boxes. The world wants to know pretty quickly.
Until now, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner has never been involved in a fatal crash. Worldwide, there are nearly 1,200 of the aircraft in service. Air Canada and WestJet both operate them, though only Air Canada operates the smaller 8 series, the model involved in Thursday's crash.
Well, the 787, the Dreamliner, has been an aircraft that has been in operations now for many years, operating in large fleets around the world without any issues.
When it entered service in 2011, the 787 was a marvel, heavily computerized and made primarily of carbon fiber. Early on, there were problems. In 2013, a series of onboard fires led the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration to ground all Dreamliners for months. The problem was later linked to the onboard batteries. Last year, as Boeing reeled from the fallout from incidents with its smaller 737 MAX planes, a whistleblower alleged serious problems with the 787 that could cause the plane to break apart mid-air. At the time, Boeing said extensive testing found no issues with the long-term safety of the Dreamliner. The company says it's prepared to fully support the investigation into the Air India crash and will work with Indian authorities. Jackson Prosco, Global News, Washington.
Families around the world are grieving tonight. Air India says among the passengers were 169 Indian nationals, 53 British nationals, 7 people from Portugal, and 1 Canadian, a dentist from Mississauga, Ontario. All of them boarded a flight that never reached its destination. Neetu Garcha reports on what we know about them.
One of the victims confirmed aboard the crashed Air India flight was Canadian dentist Dr. Nirali Suresh Kumar Patel. She worked in Mississauga and leaves behind her husband and their 1-year-old child. According to her clinic's website, Dr. Patel graduated from dental college in India before moving to Canada. She's described as a dedicated care provider who enjoyed volunteering in the community at free dental camps. As the Hindu community mourns, this Toronto temple is holding prayers for peace.
Very, very sad. It's very tragic accident, and we are feeling for all the family members of the victims. It is shocking.
For her husband, it was a real shocking. About 4 or 5 days, just less than a week ago.
Getting into fitness can feel overwhelming, but Orange Theory makes it simple.
In India, relatives gathered outside hospitals and DNA samples are being collected for victim identification. This man says his daughter-in-law was on the flight. He had dropped her off at the airport before getting a message about the incident. This man says his uncle was on the plane. They tried calling him after hearing what happened, but couldn't reach him. This woman says her son, a doctor present at the hostel, was having lunch inside when the plane crashed into it. She says he's safe. Global Affairs Canada confirms 1 Canadian was on board and says consular officials are in contact with local officials and the victim's family.
One thing I wanted to mention today is how devastating the air crash in India is.
Prayer services are expected to continue in Toronto and other communities as families await further updates from Indian authorities. Neetu Garcha, Global News, Burnaby, BC.